I'm going to be talking about X, formerly known as Twitter, which is obviously the main place where a lot of political discourse goes on. I think we can all agree on that. I see you engaging in lots of productive diplomatic discourse.
Yes, I've said basically I would, when I run for Prime Minister one day, it's actually an ambition of mine because the Afghan gold mine's going quite well. I will absolutely designate Labour as agricultural terrorism.
So if you're not familiar,
Carry on.
if you're not familiar with Miles, you run a YouTube channel, Lord Miles, and you got held in Taliban prison, and you made friends with them, and now you're looking to get a gold mine, aren't you?
It happens to the best of us, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. So you're obviously an expert in the art of the deal, and I feel like you're a good person to have on this.
Pipeline, yes.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk about how there are some accounts run by some questionable characters that muddy the water with political discourse, and I've been talking about ways of spotting these accounts that are harmful, and I call this the Slop siren, this little alarm that people post. Normally they have breaking and that little alarm.
Yes.
And it started to really wind me up because everything that is a low quality clickbaity, basically posted just to farm revenue from, well, it's no longer ad revenue, but basically the equivalent.
Well, what do these people have in common? I mean, are they from somewhere? Or?
There's something to do with that. I mean, I don't want to jump to any judgments
We don't
here.
want to generalise, guys. But
So there was a curious trend that I noticed. There was this account here, Inevitable West.
Where has this account come from?
Well,
They've come out of
basically nowhere.
Yeah.
So it was created in October, and it's already at, let's have a look here, 66.8. Oh, Lord Miles follows. Hang on a minute.
well, you gotta follow your enemies. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So think about it.
But they said breaking, Reform UK will taking part in the large-scale farming protest, standing side by side with Jeremy Clarkson. Okay, they did turn up to the protest.
Labour are finished.
Yeah. Obviously, the Labour Party's still in government, but
I wish Reform were half as effective as this count's making them out to be.
Yeah, and they just made up that they're going to be standing side by side with Jeremy Clarkson. That is not true.
Yeah.
They just made it up because it makes for, you look at the engagement, 30k likes, almost 1 million people viewed it. It's more interesting. And then you see this. Farmers will block every road in Britain if Labour doesn't listen to them on November 19th. I also pointed out as well that that scene in Inglourious Bastards where the three thing where the Germans do it like that and British people do it like that because
British people
scouts
do it like this nowadays, but carry on.
Inshallah, brother. He's got the date round a weird way, which for British people that would be very strange because we always do it the other way around. I had a few people
the American
saying,
way.
Yeah, which
month, day, year.
I'm not saying
you must be American, Ben.
I'm not saying that he could not be British. It's still possible, but it raises some questions, doesn't it? It's also worth mentioning as well. How could farmers block every road in Britain? That's obvious. Claims lead organiser.
Do you remember that happened yesterday? You're walking down the street, you can't, there's a farmer over.
Yeah, I just bumped into a tractor walking down the street.
Exactly. I couldn't open my door, there was just a tractor.
They're everywhere. And thankfully, Community Note says there is no source for this. This account is known for spreading misinformation and general nonsense, which I really enjoyed.
That's kind of based,
but I think... I called out this tweet and made a big fuss about it, so I feel like...
just a quick thing, this account strikes me as kind of like fan fiction.
It is,
like the anime, like Twitter account, this is what's going to happen. It's like, okay, it's not going to happen.
Elon's retweeted them twice, which is really frustrating. And there's this one as well. 500,000 plus patriots and 5,000 plus tractors are expected to conquer central London tomorrow. The communists don't know what's coming.
Just to be clear though, look at that engagement, 800,000 views on it.
I know.
That is incredible. Again,
it's just laughing.
Yeah, it's totally laughing. It's like fan fiction.
You don't know where these guys are from, but if they were from like a poor country, like
lots of
India,
very
Pakistan,
high population, perhaps.
That ad revenue would make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true. Also, those figures would be a bit more reasonable, wouldn't it? If in a country of 1.4 billion, say. Yeah. 500,000. That's not actually that many. That's entirely possible.
That's just like a little neighbourhood block,
It is, yeah. It is.
I also looked into this. The government basically banned them from bringing tractors to London, so this was never going to happen. And there were about 20,000 people, which is a large protest. But this is like the anime fan fiction of what happened. Like, this is mental. What are you talking about?
And then after I took exception to this, and I did call it out, I saw this.
What?
This is basically
the AI Slop.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is basically the same thing, which I pointed out, and this did quite well. That you can see that the slop siren either side are breaking, the same figures, the same number of tractors, both completely unfounded.
I hope the British Patriot actually is a British person, though. So we're basically ripping off the Indian.
Well,
Your epic-based British Patriots, sir.
yes, sir.
Guy from someone in India.
And
okay, fine.
and
British fanfic.
and I noticed that both of them have lots of similarities. So a little bit of a spoiler for what I'm going to get onto later. I called both of these out for being BS. And
foreign.
both of them, once my tweet got to a certain amount of engagement, started replying to me, trying to say it's not nonsense. I have sources, and things like that. And then when I called them out and said, "Show me your sources," then they went to my direct messages, both of those accounts, and tried to continue it there in private,
Oh yeah.
and which I didn't do.
What did they not send you their sources in private?
No, they didn't. There was no sources whatsoever, actually.
Well, the sources are from the heights of the government themselves. They've got a direct line, you know.
Shiva.
The sources where it just came to me in a dream.
Yes.
And the funny thing is,
Armor.
they're trying to like psych us out because obviously
A goon.
these are two of the same people. This goon is copying my posts, and I agree that they are a goon, but it might just be the same person.
But I also agree, he probably is copying his posts. I mean, you know. Oh, you think it's the same person in both counts?
They're almost identical in
but
what
if
they
one guy's
post.
ripping
The
off the other
language
guy-
they use.
Now, this one man, he's high cast, but this other one, very low cast. Very bad, sir. Very bad. Not good.
And this people picked up on. Actually, here's the actual prediction that people were predicting. And actually, it was twice that amount, but that's a lot more reasonable.
Yes.
And then this was ripped off. Organisers of farmers' protests have
5
now confirmed
million?
5 million patriots will attend, bringing up to 50,000 tractors and other vehicles.
Real.
Plans have already been made to block all roads. So this isn't fake news. Torin Fable here was the person that actually drew my attention to these fake posts, and he was just satirising it.
Taking the mic.
And also, I believe Cunley Druckper also did this.
This is true.
Breaking gunfights on the streets of London as farmers' protest heats up. At least 18 people have been shot as tensions rise at the farmers' march. Bullets started being exchanged at 11:32 a.m. after Jeremy Clarkson fired off a round at the police.
Yeah, he
It's
ended
not
up
looking
storming
good.
Parliament.
How every man wants to die.
But obviously, this is not fake news. This really happened. And
Britain's best journalist there.
You used to
lots
have
of
an empire.
lots of people were saying this to me, so people were familiar with this. I also had people sending me messages saying I actually know the person running this account,
Right.
and they're saying it's someone who used to be Based 7, going by the name Ben. I don't know about that. He was exposed a long time for being an Indian, and I've seen lots and lots of people saying that he's Indian.
Dead or Indian, call it.
That's hilarious framing, though. He was exposed for being an Indian.
He's not a liar. He's not posting fake news. He's Indian.
You know, I've had a history of the Indians. If you guys don't know, I would say pull that up if you can. Regarding
Jack, I put some images into.
I've been banned from India, guys. It's actually
Have
it's
you
a
actually
pleasure.
been banned?
I've been banned. I've been told by a few people, "Hey, I work at Indian immigration. Please don't come. You will have problems." Because first, I friend to go to North Central Island. I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to shoot for Indian Navy. You know, just normal stuff." And I would, to be fair, it belongs to the empire. I don't recognise their borders or their country or sovereignty or anything. And then I friend to nuke India, and it came up. It came up on the Indian Times, the Economist. Like, who is? Well, we'll try and find it, but it's like, who is Lord Miles, the British YouTuber who threatened to atomize India and nuke us?
I asked Jack
I did it
to pull
outside
this
the
up,
UK, so I
and
can't
he's
be
walked
charged
out of the room.
I guess
don't
he's not going to pull that up.
No.
But there is a headline here from the Hindustan Times. British YouTuber Miles Routledge sparks outrage with racist remarks about atomizing India. I put it in the Discord, Jack.
How is that racist?
There we go. Jack's pulling it up. Okay.
If I threaten to nuke France, am I being racist?
I would threaten to nuke France too. It's very
So-
understandable.
Here we go. We should have them pulled up. Here's one from something or other.
There's a few like that too. They always say there's massive outrage. I received overwhelming support on X with this. If
From Pakistani accounts. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sponsored by Pakistani ISI guys. But I've actually got this framed in my house, It's actually on the wall. It's on the wall.
Not that one. That was the wrong image, but that's funny anyway. So here we go. I saw overwhelming support because I saw you saying this stuff on Twitter, and I was just like,
man.
yes.
One struggle. You're very sweaty, you're very moist today.
I know, it's really warm in here, isn't it?
It's kind of getting hot in here.
It is,
We'll go out for a drink
Oh my God. Right, back to the slop.
Your epic right wing guy.
God,
Right.
go join the Conservative Party somewhere.
It's all right, Miles. He just doesn't understand us. So this original account that they were saying has been suspended.
No.
But if you put, rather than based 7, you put based 8.
Oh.
Inevitable West comes up.
Huh.
Which is funny, isn't it?
Huh.
Oh, something's going on there.
Oh, the Fed's joined.
Yeah. He's a Fed. But yeah, you can see.
That is weird.
He keeps on just coming up. And also, there's an account called Ben Warren 52 that just reply guys, Inevitable West.
I like the fact that there are a bunch of foreign fans of the British Empire who are like, no, you guys are doing it wrong. Look, 500,000. It's like, okay, well, there's something funny about it.
Just imagine a group, based British people, Americans getting together mass immigration is not too good. What are we gonna do about this? And some random Indian guy comes in yes, so true, sir, one struggle. What? He's like, yes, we have the same problem. Something about Pakistan and Islam, and you're like, no, get out of here, dude. Just push him away.
So after I called them out, he was asking, what is this misinformation? Just has no concept of reality or truth.
Maybe English isn't his first language and he's actually asking for a translation.
Because this is in response to this, where I'm calling them both out for just making stuff up.
500,000.
Source, I made it up.
Well, I said that... he basically says, I made an estimate, wouldn't call that misinformation. If anything, you're putting out misinformation by saying, I am Inevitable West, practice what you preach. Here is a picture taken in the last hour of today's event. But the thing is, he made the estimations before anyone turned up. And also, that's not 500,000 people. Not even close.
Well, the time zone in India is a few hours ahead of England, so he just saw into the future.
He used a satellite to see the future.
That's real. Indian space program.
Superpower, aren't they? I forgot about that.
They're superpower guys.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a space program, though, and we bloody don't.
But we've got
we're
toilets
launching
in every
rockets
single
from Cornwall.
home.
That is fair.
So, yeah,
Mm-hmm. And they pointed out, this is another account, the ones in the OP, there have been multiple posts where Josh has asked for sources on this because they're completely fabricated. And he says, just because someone throws out a number doesn't mean it's misinformation.
That's Rachel Reeves' defense, is it?
I was inspired by Inevitable West without realising he's often labelled as an engagement farming Indian.
Oh!
I have no connection to him and don't even know who he is. But you just mentioned him. I've been on X for about 4 months. I'm British and honestly, I couldn't care less if you believe me.
I'm British, yeah. I own the piece of paper that says I'm British. Totally.
Yes. You're part of the British Empire, perhaps, at one point. I don't see it as misinformation. Everyone has the right to their own opinion and to make estimates.
I don't know, dude. If you
this
say,
is just Rachel Reeves defending her budget.
well, to be fair, if you question some numbers regarding historical events, but that
No
can be
idea
taken
what
out of
about.
context. That's very dodgy.
That is true, yeah. Everyone can make an estimate.
Yes, and
It's his defense in front of a German court. Everyone's entitled to make estimates.
don't Indians love Israel because they believe
They do love Israel.
Yeah, but the Israelis just absolutely despise the Indians.
Really? Who could have imagined?
Yeah, I can't imagine why.
So there they are saying that. And they said, I did a lot of digging, and it seems that around 500,000 people were going to show up based on polls and chats with other influencers.
Yeah.
But not Inevitable West. You just so happen to happen on the same
Every other
fabricated
influencer.
figure.
Not that guy, yeah.
When you say a lot of digging, do you think went to the catacombs, the archives, looking for ancient scrolls? It's like complex math.
I didn't just pull those numbers out of thin air. Remember that he didn't just make them up.
I would just be base. I would just be like, haha, made it up, lol.
Yeah,
And everyone think that would be cool.
Just the wonderful thing here, it seems like you're trying to boost your own engagement by spreading false stories about me in Inevitable West. Also, he's all of a sudden concerned about spreading fake stories about this account that he has nothing to do with.
Oh, yeah.
Funny that, isn't it? It's almost like he has some sort of vested interest in this account. It's weird. I don't know him and I have no ties to him at all. Now you have a nice day. Sar. He didn't say that. And now he's saying that I'm misinformation.
Wow.
Even though he provided no sources when I asked him. And I did say, it's not 500,000 people, not even close.
I would say post a picture of your hand with a date on it and your at.
People were saying that as well.
Yeah, they don't do it.
He didn't do it.
They don't do it. I'm ashamed because I'm 1/16 French. I don't think I'm white. You know, it's like...
It's all right.
Yeah. No, it's not.
We'll give you a pass. You've done enough British things going to foreign countries and exploring, you know.
So true.
So blah blah blah. Same thing. Here's another account. God save Great Britain. Defender of British culture and heritage. And this one is...
It's like Facebook AI boomer slop.
It is exactly what I was going to say. It's boomer bait.
Yeah.
And this is shared by the other accounts that I was calling out as well.
Did you do a Wayback Machine on this account?
I haven't, no.
If joined in 2019, it was probably something else.
I didn't want to dwell on it too much because, here's the tractor thing again that people pointed out is nonsense.
German tractors.
Yeah.
They're coming from far and wide. They were on the channel the other day.
And I saw a post that I actually thought was quite funny. Snow, the only thing that settles in Britain and doesn't claim benefits. I thought, okay, that's actually quite good. Fair enough.
Funny.
It's good boomer bait, yeah.
It is. And then I realised, oh wait, someone had already tweeted this and they just reworded it. This is dated earlier. That's 20th of November. That is 18th of November, which happened to be my birthday. Thank you. I'm 29 years young.
Oh.
I know. I don't look it, do I? I look much older.
You're 4 years older than me, and you've got hair. That's
I know. It's amazing.
I'm feeling the envy all of a sudden.
I'm gonna end myself.
I've got hair to spare if you want some.
Oh yeah,
I've got thick Scottish locks.
We'll pop down to Turkey together. You know, we'll do
all
a
right.
transplant.
I did want to go on holiday, and let's go on to Radio Genoa because they're another account that is run by a very European person, a Cambodian, of course. Everyone knows Cambodia is in Europe.
I liked Radio Genoa as well. They were useful.
I shot an RPG in Cambodia once. That was real fun.
A cow. That'll anger the Indians, won't it?
Yeah. To be fair, I have I've said a lot of things about Indians, so I can't say on camera. But you know.
But I would argue that Radio Genoa, although they have some use in that they share stuff that is useful to see, it's done in a very engagement farmy way. They only really provide rhetoric rather than details about the things that they're sharing in the videos, which I find that if you actually want to source it and know exactly what happened and when, is very difficult. And so it just becomes this isolated video that makes people angry, but you're powerless to do anything about it because you don't know any more information than the sort of rhetoric you're getting.
You can't take it as a serious source either.
Exactly. And so I was going to have a look here that they're showing that he's a Cambodian. Here's his account here. You can see it's the same guy. Radio Genoa. Also Rome there.
You're epic Western nationalist, sir.
I know. There is a bit of a theme going on, and you see things like this where this is a video, if you're listening, of an African eating a loaf of bread by dipping it in dirty water, and they're saying, what is this?
I mean,
and
to be fair,
you don't need
fair question.
But also it's so entirely obvious what's going on here.
Yeah, it's engagement farming.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And it all it does is saturate the platform with stuff that's not necessarily that helpful. And as well, this is something that I've noticed. They describe everyone as British patriots. This is from Liverpool in the August riots after the Southport incident. Right. And it's just like British patriots in Liverpool. And it's just a bunch of Scouse chavs causing trouble. It's like, they're British patriots? I mean, how do you know they're British patriots?
Well, we're so bad, guys. Look at that. Wow.
And there's also, you see their regular posts where they don't post a video. I mean, this, I agree. Patriots love and protect children. That's a fair thing to say, and I agree with that. And it's also a good message. That's true. However, you can see that this post for an account with over 1 million followers gets the number of likes that small fry like me get.
Yeah, you can see why they're engagement farming.
Yeah,
Get those numbers up.
Exactly. And, they post things like this. Is Keir Starmer's England a democracy or a dictatorship? To loads of people who hate Keir Starmer. I mean, what answer are you going to expect? And of course, no one cares about this. It doesn't get nearly the same level of engagement. But then sometimes they hit gold. I mean, Trump's not talking about removing George Floyd monuments, but they just sort of suggested, should he do it? And people loved it.
Well, he's been and it did for a while.
That's true. Longest he's been free in his existence. But 10.5 million views, very widely circulated.
Eating well tonight.
And also foreshadowing, there's Miles Chong in the replies. That's
favourite Malaysian nationalist.
He's just as American as you or me.
Exactly.
I'm starting
all.
to come around to these based patriot, inevitable West.
Just spreading fake news.
Yeah, well, the media's spreading fake news all the time, so we need a counterweight.
Beat them at their own game.
Yeah.
And they also... there's another what is this as well.
She's single? Cool.
Yeah, Miles, I've just left this in for you. I know, you're looking to meet ladies.
Is that Ian Chong's sister?
It might well be. But they also reheat old things like this.
Yeah.
Like, what do they eat in America? This is an old post.
It is, from 2017.
It is, yeah. And I think they've even used AI to enhance the image quality, which, I mean, I respect as a respecter of... I respect good image fidelity, but still, this is old news. They're just sort of rehashing it as this is something that's happening now. Because
I know accounts like mine, they make about 1,000 to 2,000 a month just in extra ad revenue. These are probably making 3 or 4. So they've gone from, impoverished in whichever third world country that we used to rule to now.
This guy actually lives in Italy, I think, this Cambodian guy.
Yeah, but
impoverished third world
but is it southern
Italy?
Is it southern Italy? Mm-hmm. They're not really European men, are they? But they're basically, I can't say it, but I don't know. I just think they're making a ton of money off it, and it's going to push whatever narrative that makes money. And
that's exactly it.
There's no new ideas being circumvented in the system. It's just one giant, circle jerk, really.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad to see.
And I think that part of the reason is these people who are foreign don't necessarily have that much of a vested interest in our domestic politics as the people who actually live here and care about the place. Sure, they might care in some sort of ideological sense and in tangential sense. I'm not necessarily denying that they have some emotional investment. Exactly. But it's not the same. And so I think it gives them the proclivity to make things up and sort of be sensationalist and not go about things in a way that is maximally productive to helping the actual country they're talking about.
So what you're saying is we should have Indian slop accounts for Twitter. Like, 500 billion Indians are going to descend on, Pakistan or something.
You know how you have massive
Indian patriots?
Massive Indian call centres. What Elon should do is do that, but for US politics.
Led by Ganesh himself to defeat...
infinite Indians with infinite computers.
Yeah. All I'm saying is there might be a good market for it.
I've travelled a lot, and I just don't think most of these people in the world are sentient. I would say 85... I'm not even kidding.
It's just anywhere, really.
I think 85% of the world isn't sentience.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on up there, generic ideas, just no independent thoughts. I just don't know. Like, if they just... half the world disappeared, I wouldn't know. Nothing would change.
So anyway, let's move on to... Ian, that's another thing, actually. This is muddying the water, saying known paedophiles in the UK, what do you notice? Actually, this image is...
They're all men.
That's true, yeah.
Actually, they're not. There's a woman there.
That's... Oh, yeah.
Huddersfield.
She's
yeah. But this is a composite image that we share in Britain of the grooming gangs to show how widespread they are in all of these different places. It is the case that there are some white paedophiles. Obviously, they all work for the BBC. But they could just share that, and that's compelling enough, saying, look at how widespread the grooming gangs are.
There are some white paedophiles in Britain. They're in charge of the country.
But anyway, Ian Miles Chong. He is a Malaysian national. He does usually write his own takes, although he clearly spends a lot of time on Twitter. And so I would argue he's a marginally better version of Radio Genoa, but I still feel like he is unhelpful. You see, he sometimes just writes out things that are just his opinions, and they do reasonably well.
And that's fine.
yeah, that's okay. But sometimes he does post things that are other people's content without crediting
Complete
them.
slop.
And he
Complete slop,
posts
yeah.
complete slop. And I feel like this is the same phenomenon whereby they don't have a necessary vested interest. And we can see that from the fact that when the Panama Papers leaked, of course this is a financial thing, we can see that his name is Chong Wen-jiang. Ian Miles is...
Appropriate my name. My name, Miles.
That's true, yeah.
Ian, I'm coming for you.
Mm-hmm. And he has a company that operates out of Malaysia via the British Virgin Islands for tax purposes, probably, because he makes an absolute killing from his...
He doesn't want to pay taxes. You're selling on Ian Miles Chong now.
I don't care about him not paying taxes, but it just suggests to me that he's there for the money, right?
Sure.
And I support people avoiding taxes. The legal one, though.
I support people making money.
I support people making money. However, I feel like if you're talking about other people's politics, you should do so in a manner that is productive for that country.
Well, I must announce too, unfortunately, I'm going to have to move from the UK rather soon because I'm getting screwed over on taxes.
Aren't we all?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, Taliban merch makes decent money, I've got to admit. And I just might as well just move because why would I stay here? Things are getting worse. I'm not safe in my own country. Things are expensive. What's the point? So, yeah.
Do you have any idea where you're going to move?
I was actually going to move to Afghanistan, and I was actually going to get a letter saying, hey, you're a tax resident of Afghanistan, but there's no tax agreement between Afghanistan and England. That will change. Things need to change there. But I'm thinking Bahrain, Oman, or Saudi. I don't want to move to the UAE. It's not my place, but 0% tax. It's great.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, there are states in the US that have 0% tax, that are potentially good, and you won't have to live amongst the sand, do you?
Yeah, I can move to Israel. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
get conscripted.
Oy
So you see things like this. The AI is completely out of control. This is known for being a bit of a slop post where they just post. I mean, it is funny. Well, I must admit, it's a bit silly. It's a bit funny.
That's real.
This is actually real footage as well. It's passing it off as AI.
I like the fact they're driving down London.
I don't know why they're in London for some reason.
Watching.
It is just silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
And for some reason, Putin's leading the Peaky Blinders for some reason. I don't know why, but it's not really adding much, even though it is silly.
Hillary Clinton, the drill rapper.
And then here's another example of them bringing up old stuff. You may remember this. I think she was a migrant police worker, wasn't she? Like she's not even like a proper police lady, a policeman officer lady thing. And we covered this when it happened. This was like a year ago, and he shared this on the 20th of November, and without any context for it, where it is. It's just the UK, and it would be helpful if you were able to find out more about it or when it was, because this is old news. Of course, it's from Radio Genoa, because
it's probably still government policy. So in his defence,
well, I think she actually got reprimanded for this, and it wasn't the law, and she got in trouble. So problem solved.
See this.
Also, the weird tongue out as well.
Many such cases of hating Christ. Many.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, under my government, I would ban all people that go against Christ. Basically, I would mandate Christianity everywhere. I'm not even kidding.
Okay, well, it is better than Islam everywhere. I'd say that.
Better than anything else anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also worth mentioning as well, if you want your daily dose of slop, we've made a new channel, Lotus Eaters Daily.
Is much higher quality.
That's true. This is just where we post more short form stuff, where we break down things like articles or various stories that are too small to go on the podcast, and therefore we're not hypocrites for pointing out the more sloppy things. We are actually,
these are actually sensible videos.
That's true. Mm-hmm. But yes, the point I wanted to make.
I'm subbing right now.
Okay, good.
It cannot wait. Same for you at home.
I wondered what you were doing. I thought my segment was just really boring.
No.
But my point being is there are lots of these foreign-run slop accounts that don't really add very much. Run by Afghanis.
Seems a bit rude to our guest, Josh.
Yeah, Miles, I'm calling you out. This was actually an intervention. But
We are destined to do battle after this. I'm going to kill you.
In a nice way.
I love you.
Ah. But the point being that there are lots of these accounts. Don't engage with them. Call them out. Be wary of them. Don't cite them as sources because they're just out to make money at the end of the day.
Thanks for watching, folks. If you'd like to support us, go over to lotuses.com, sign up for £5 a month, helps keep the lights on because, of course, we're not monetized, and go and watch some of our amazing premium content, such as this Lads Hour. Now, Lads Hour is very much like a sort of male version of The View, and so we decided to watch The View before the election and afterwards. And I'm not going to lie, we had a great time. Also, go and follow us over on X, formerly Twitter, at lotuseaters_com.